Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make the seagull blocks that have the full body pieces. So the Greedy Seagulls is a mix and match applique quilt pattern, which means that you can put the pieces together any way that you like, and it has two different kinds of seagull pieces. Some of them are zoomed way in, so you're just seeing the head, and the head is quite large in the block. And some of them, like this one that you see, are zoomed out so that we can see the entire body. And the pattern also includes some pieces for some accessories, like the bandana, or some places for these birds to stand. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. There are endless ways you can put these pieces together. I'm just going to show you 4 different possibilities to get you started. All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to put together the seagull blocks, a few ways to put together the seagull blocks where you see the entire bird in the block. So again, this is a mix and match pattern, so there are a million different ways that you can put these together. I'm just going to show you a few of the ways. And what we're doing is we're doing this on a silicone mat so that I have a full iron-on of the entire bird shape that I can put however I want to. I can arrange them wherever I want on my quilt. So I have not decided yet on this quilt which colors I want where, and I kind of want the blocks to interact a little bit with each other. So I am doing all of the birds first as separate appliques, and then I'm going to lay everything out and decide exactly which block I want where and what color I want each one of these to be fused to. So we're going to do the full body blocks the same way. I've got my, this is just a cereal box with a 10-inch square cut out of it. And I've got a separate video showing you more details about what I'm doing here. But I'm using that to make sure that whatever composition I come up with is going to fit in a 10-inch square. So on this one, we're going to make the seagull standing on a piling. So I'm going to go ahead and get that piling in place, and that's going to go right at the bottom of my block. And then I've got a body. Let's go ahead and get that in place. And that's going to sit somewhere above the piling. Now, I could make it rest on the piling like he's sitting down and you don't see his legs. But this version, I do want to see his legs. But that's just showing you that's 2 options already that you have, even if you did this, the rest of this composition the same. So I'm going to stick a couple of leg pieces underneath his body, but I'm going to make them over the piling. I did not give him feet because really when you're looking at seagulls, unless you're looking down at them, you can't see their feet because they have flat webbed feet. And also it simplifies the composition quite a bit. And I think that these little rectangle legs just look pretty cute. So you can change him and make him looking up. You can make him looking down. I'm going to make this guy looking straight ahead. But just reminding you always that you have so many options in how you put these together. Love a mix and match pattern. So let's put his wing on here. And again, pop it down there anywhere you want. It can go up like he's stretching up. Again, lots of different ways to play with it. And then let's put his bottom beak in first. So the beak has 2 pieces. It has a more curved top piece and the bottom piece has a flatter bit to it. So I think we'll do this guy he's just chilling. He's just looking straight ahead. He's not squawking. He's not eating. He's just hanging out on his piling. So we're going to put this top curved piece over the bottom one. And you do want it to overlap at the end. You want that hook bit to show. There we go. And now let's give him an eye. So you could make that beak open. You could make it, I've done it closed. You can make it open a little bit. You can make it open a lot. You can put it on this side of his head and have him looking back over his shoulder. And then I've got his eye here. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that composition, and it fits inside my 10-inch block, so that is good. I'm going to take it over and I'm going to fuse that down so that it is all one iron-on, and then I'm going to come back and show you a few more variations that you can do for other birds. I'm going to make a total of 4 blocks, I think it was 4 blocks, that show the full body of the bird. So I've got a few different ways to show you. Okay, so there's this guy that we just made, all ready for me to put him on a block and fuse him down. Now we're going to do another one. This one, instead of standing on a piling, is going to be standing on a rock. So there's going to be a rock out in the water. And on this one, this frame is going to help me because I want him to be standing on a rock. So we're going to be using the leg pieces, and I want to make sure that I don't make him too tall. So here's the body. He's getting pretty tall up in there. So what I might end up doing when I put this on my block is let some of that rock disappear. But first, let's just see how he's looking. Let's put some legs in. And this guy is also going to be wearing a jaunty bandana. So I'm just going to stick both of his legs at the top of this rock and then set the body down over them, and let's see how things are looking. Oh, that is going to fit. All right, now we have a couple of choices. He's going to have a beak. Let's see, his beak is going to be, do we want this guy to be making a loud noise? I think we might want him to have an open mouth. Maybe he's not super loud, but he's a little bit loud. You want the top of the beak to overlap the bottom a little bit. It makes it look a little more natural. And then, of course, hang on, I've moved these things, so let's fix them. Top beak overlapping bottom beak. Now we will lay this guy down. There we go. All right, so he's just making a little bit of a squawk, and he needs an eye. That will bring him to life a bit. And then let's give him his wing, but then he has a very nice bandana. So here's his wing. And then we're going to give him a bandana. So we're going to end up covering up the top of his head a bit. There we go. And then we have 2 bandana tails. So he could just actually wear the top of it, and we could call it a beanie, or I guess in the South they call them a toboggan. And I think up in Canada they call it a toque. You could give it a little, you could do a contrasting stripe of fabric at the bottom if you wanted to give it a little rim coming up, like you folded the bottom of the beanie up. But we're going to make it a bandana, so we're going to give him some ties here. So he's got a bandana tie, and there we go. So that is that one. I like it. It fits inside my block. I'm going to take it over and fuse it, and then come back and do another one. All right, we're going to make another one. This is going to be another one on a rock, but this one I'm going to not use the legs. I'm going to have him kind of roosting down, hunkered down on a rock. Sometimes they sit down low enough and they're just chilling that you can't see their legs or feet at all. So that's what we're going to do with this guy. So we're going to put his body down on the rock. And this one is going to be looking right at us. So his body is turned to the side. So we're going to go ahead and pop his wing in there. And let me go ahead and put his beak in. So instead of a 2-part beak, we've got a 1-part beak. And he is just looking at us. And then this one is going to then have two eyes instead of just the one eye because he's got his head turned. And I think I want that to be down lower. And I like the bottoms of the eyes to be just below the top of the beak. So it's like the beak is kind of coming out between his eyes. So that's cute. We could also put his eyes really close together on top of the beak. That is also kind of fun. But I think I'm going to do this. All right, I like how that looks. It fits all the way around. I might, when I put it on a block, decide to put some waves at the bottom, like this is a rock out in the water. I'll decide that when I put the blocks together. But for right now, I'm gonna take this over, fuse it down, come back and show you one more full body seagull. All right, we are gonna make one more bird, and this one is not gonna be propped on anything because this one I am gonna put some waves at the bottom, and I'm gonna make him like he is floating in the water. But first, I'm gonna just make the bird again so that I can decide on my block colors later. So he is gonna just sit in the water. So he'll be kind of low down in the block, but not all the way at the bottom. There's a wing for him, and give him an eye. And I think I'm gonna make this guy have a closed beak. I'm not 100% sure. If you wanted to have your bird turning and looking over his back, which many, many birds do, you would have to use some of the beak pieces that are facing in the other direction. But I'm just going to show you really quickly what that would look like here because it is a cool look. You would just put your beak pieces on this side of the head, and then he is turning and looking behind him. But we're going to make him looking forward. But just wanted to show you because that is one of the things that I really, really, really love about a mix and match pattern is all the different ways that you can play with it. So closed mouth, chillin'. Thought about even just stitching a little half circle and having him have an eye closed like he is sleeping out there. And but I decided I wanted to have him be still alert. I feel like seagulls never sleep. They are always alert to the possibility of food in the area. All right, so he is all ready. And again, he's gonna have some waves in his finished block, in his final block. But for now, I've got the bird ready to audition on different colored backgrounds. So I'm gonna fuse him down, and then when I come back, I will show you all of these blocks finished once I've chosen their backgrounds and gotten them fused onto the final color and done all of the outline stitching. I'll come back and show you each of the birds that you saw me build here. All right, let's look at some finished blocks. So this is the one we did wearing the little bandana. And this is the one that also has his legs in the image, so he's standing up tall. This is the one on the pier. Here's the one sitting on a rock. So he's hunkered down so you can't see his legs. And I decided not to include water on this block because I got one more that does. And here is that one that's just out floating in the water. So I put one of the waves pieces from the pattern just in front of the bird that you saw me assemble in his part of the video. So that is just 4 examples of what you can do with the full body, all of the pieces for the full body blocks.